What's up, guys, and welcome back to another podcast, episode number 3. Smash that thumbs up, make sure you comment below, and share this on social media. We post new videos every other day, new pods every week. Today, we're talking to a young lady that's getting ready to buy her own house from content she's made on OF and other sites doing cam girl things. If you guys haven't grabbed this new merch right here, make sure you get that right now so you can rep the pod in style. Now let's get into it. So last night, Alicia and I were laying in bed. We were laying in bed, Shay. You know what I'm talking about? We were laying in bed and Alicia says, we got the interview with Shay tomorrow. I was like, yeah, what's up? She's like, I think we should check out some of her content. I said, oh, look at Alicia Keisha. Alicia. I was like, yeah, let's check out some of Shay's content. So we went over to OnlyFans, and we weren't using OnlyHands, if you know what I'm saying. Girl, you be doing some crazy shit over there. What's up with that? Tell us about that.
So I've been doing OnlyFans for like 4 years now. I did start actually before the pandemic too. So I was able to like start my account before that and get on Reddit before the pandemic started because there was a lot of people on Reddit like promoting on there. So it kind of got an influx. And in a sense, like Redditors were kind of mad about it. So it helped me a lot though, me starting before the pandemic kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I've made okay money off there. Like that's not my main thing.
Right.
But it's nice to have it, of course, because the name OnlyFans, like it's
Right.
for OnlyFans, It's for the people who want to see like exclusive stuff that's not going to be on your Instagram feed. But yeah, I really enjoy making content too. It's fun.
Shay, you're responsible for what happened in the bedroom last night. You're responsible for what lots of people are doing in the bedroom. I'm sure there's a lot more guys than anything following you. Would you say that that's true? You got a lot of gentlemen?
Yes, it's like 95% men. I've had probably like 5 girls subscribe over the years. Yeah, just some like girls that I've met from like streaming apps or just Instagram. So.
And just because they're gentlemen doesn't mean that they're a gentleman. Would you say that that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, that's true sometimes. You can get some rude people.
We're going to dive in. We're going to dive deep inside today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jody Dean, Mr. Hunting the Dead. This is my lovely wife over here, Alicia, aka Pinkie Pie. We're talking to a girl that she is a supporter of our channel. We became friends, and as a friend, I've been watching her for a hot minute doing her thing. Last night, I really seen her doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm proud of this young lady. She is a young girl that is all about the business side of this. In other words, there are girls out there that are probably doing this just because they love doing it and the money's great, but they just, they're in it. They love the atmospherics of it. But this is a business to you. You're a businesswoman. Would you say that that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a self-employed like entrepreneur now kind of thing. And every time I go like to do my taxes now, like when I, write things off, like I always have to remember that I can write off like nails, hair, tanning, things like that. And it's nice because like those things add up when you do this stuff. And even ring lights and stuff like that, you can write off. So that's like just a reminder for cam girls out there, write your stuff off because you'll save money because we spend a lot. So.
Absolutely. And I feel like a proud father right now, even though I have no fatherly relations. I'm just happy to see a young woman doing her thing and understand that. The write-offs, the taxes. A lot of people on YouTube, they think whenever they start having some success, that's it. You just collect that check and it's all good. No, YouTubers, they ain't paid their taxes in years. I think there's probably some that ain't never paid them. But, the business aspect of doing what you do, that it's a big business. to be a woman and have control of your own business in the adult entertainment field is something you actually don't see a lot.
Definitely. Yeah, like there's a lot of people I think that like will reach out to you and try to like be your agent or something. Like Redditors, like I've noticed I hadn't been on Reddit for like a couple years, I think. And I jumped back on there to promote my OF, and I get all these messages from all these guys like trying to be my agent. And it's just a scam. Like I'll tell you right now, it's a scam. So yeah, definitely running your own thing and just like being like your own boss and like, doing the taxes. Just making sure everything's good and done like by yourself. It can be a lot, but it's better to do it that way because then you know what's going on.
How long have you been, I don't want to say this right, because I know you've dabbled in a few different things. How long have you been a cam girl, OF girl, whatever else you're into online? How long have you been doing this pornstress type things?
Right. So since 2018 is when I started. I didn't like jump fully into it in 2018. Like I just kind of like was on like an old laptop and opened up a site like, a webcam kind of site like, and then I didn't make much off that really, but I started back then, and then I kind of like 2019. I remember I was still working in dispensaries, so then I kind of like quit my job and said to myself, I'm gonna be a camera girl. I literally manifested it. I was like kind of tired of working for people and making like nothing. So it was around 2019 when I fully put my foot down and said goodbye to the weed industry.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, that's something that I didn't know about you. However, I did know that you like to burn a little something, something. Let me ask you, I think this is a question that everybody just thinks they know the answer to. I feel like I know the answer to it. Um, when you're doing what you do you get the most absurd DMs from these guys out there on your platforms?
Um, to be honest, sometimes sometimes in your Instagram DMs you get like weird shit because it's just guys who want attention for free. And generally a lot of OnlyFans girls don't answer DMs on Instagram because it can be like kind of overwhelming. But I mean, I have guys like reach out to me sometimes and ask me if they can come to this strip club that I'm working at and get domed. And I'm like, because I'm a dom, right? But it's one of those things where I'm like, sure, come see me, but then like it was a private event and he would have had to buy tickets to get it. So he didn't. I told him this, but it was just yeah. So you get some of the messages sometimes, but you just kind of like, okay, whatever.
So I know Alicia's got some questions for you. You want to hit it now? All right, she's going to hit you right now.
So do you ever have the crazy wives DM you and say, hey, I caught my husband trying to write you on Instagram?
I haven't had any of that happen to me before, thankfully, because that would suck. But when guys sometimes like are doing weird shit, saying weird shit on my Instagram, I will message their wives. I'll be like, honestly, your man is messaging me, DMing me. So I've done that before. So it's opposite kind of. I more so look out for the women and you know,
That's some G ass shit, man. I ain't never heard that before, but I give you props for it, and also, um, I'll make sure that I never say anything too crazy underneath the picture, and I'll be sure to pass that along to my friends as well. Hey, homeboy, don't say anything to Shay since you got a bae. Um,
it's only right, right? You got to
no,
be good to the
absolutely.
woman and respect and have respect for everyone.
You just mentioned you're a dom, so that means you're a dominatrix. Um, how the heck did that come about?
So that came about actually like probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, when I got on the site Text Panther. That site is very fetish friendly, full of people who are, submissive types, that kind of thing, like to be dominated. And there's this thing called pay pigs over there. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's people who just send lots of money and they like to send money. That's their thing. For nothing, essentially. So
Wow.
it makes it really easy, right? And so I had a few of those come around, and one of them said to me, he's actually like from the same city as me too, which is great. So he actually got like my email, he's sending me money that way and not just on the app. But anyway, he was the one that said to me, you should focus on dominatrix, like only, like just mistress work, because you would be really good at it. You'd be really good at just doing that one thing. So when he said that, I kind of pursued it, and I was like, well, I might as well try.
So you said you work at a strip club, so you're a dancer, and we've seen some of your moves. You're an awesome dancer. So you're a dancer, you're a dom, you do online stuff. You got the OF, you got the text panth. Is there anything else that you do that we didn't just cover there?
Live streaming is
Live.
another thing I do.
And doing what you do, tell us what's some of the craziest kind of money you have seen, let's say, in a 1 month time. What's the most money you ever made?
So my biggest month was 12K American, and I'm Canadian, so that's like about 14K Canadian, around there, because it's like with the conversion, right?
Right.
Could be even 15 almost, depending on the dollar. But yeah, like I had like a 15K month one time, and last year I had a lot of 10K months, so I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, definitely, like, the customers that I have who are returning and constantly spend large amounts, it really adds up. And it makes it easier for me just to like not work as much either.
To be a young lady doing 6 figures a year, being your own boss, and we haven't covered this yet, but off camera we talked about it. As friends, we know this. You're not actually sleeping with anybody on your OnlyFans, or at all. Like right now.
Right, I'm actually celibate and I do solo creations. And I've made a lot of money doing it that way, honestly, too. And I think this is just like advice for anyone that's out there that's wondering if, solo creation is not going to work for them. It can, if you're really into it, and you put the work in, and you maybe find like other sources of revenue as well, other than just, that, because you have to have at least like 4 or 5 when you do this kind of stuff, I find, because sometimes things can go down, apps can fail.
Right. So you can make dope money doing things by yourself, which is a lot safer nowadays, which definitely is an important thing, especially in that field, in that industry. You're doing pornish things, but you're not doing full blown porn.
Right, exactly.
Is there a sex that you prefer? Are you into men? Are you into women? Are you into both?
I'm into men. But I find like as I get older, I get like more curious. Like I find women's bodies to be, more appealing and stuff. Like, and I still haven't experimented, but it's
Right
nice
on.
to be able to like appreciate all bodies, like men and women.
Absolutely. No, I respect it. Have you ever been in a scary situation because of what you do? I'm talking about stalker shit. Some dude showing up to your job like you're a piece of corn on the cob, or maybe, you know, hitting you up everywhere online to where you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
I have actually had that happen to me. So remember how I said I used to work in dispensaries? The job that I had right before I transitioned into cam work was a dispensary. And I worked with this guy. And it was, we had each other on Instagram. And then a birthday came around. And I guess I wasn't as successful as I am now, kind of thing. So just keep in mind, right? And I guess didn't have enough money in my bank to get a Fashion Nova fit for my birthday. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to get my fit arriving before my birthday. And I think I posted something on my story about who can help me out with this, blah, blah, blah. And he offered to. And then, but then, we talked like a few days later, and he goes, no, but you have to come over if I ordered that outfit for you. And I was like, that wasn't part of the plan. I was like, don't worry about it. So then I blocked him, right? Just to get it over with, because that's what I do a lot of the time. I just cut people off and move on. And he went and made a fake account and then started threatening me. Like, I don't know where to even start, but it was like basically like he said he was going to come to my house and throw rocks at the window. And I lived in this like coach home at the time, which was like, it's a separate home from the landlords, right? So I was worried. I was actually kind of like scared for like a week at least, but then I got over it because I knew he was lying and he was all talk. But he did threaten me, and all because I wouldn't come over and get the outfit and probably fuck him he wanted, right?
Right,
And he's a child. He's acting like a child.
That's crazy, and what's even crazier is I've known so many guys like that in my life, and that's why my circle's so small, man. Is people are so weird and so immature. The older they get, it's like the more immature they get, and that's why we're constantly cutting off people, man. And we want to have faith in people, but the fact is when we shake somebody's hand, we're just wondering how long it's gonna be till they let us down.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Like, we're very similar in that sense.
You really do, because you endured a situation with a young lady that I guess you believed her to be a friend, and then she ended up hacking you. Talk about that.
It was a big thing. So this happened May last year during my birthday month when I turned 32. And it's a whole long story, but there was another girl that was from Canada as well that was like a streamer and stopped being friends with the girl that hacked me. But this was before she hacked me, right? And then so me and her became friends online, the live streaming thing. We're streaming together. And I think she was watching us on lurk accounts, being jealous, like, oh, what are these bitches doing, making money together? And just jealous, hating shit. Go make your own money, right? But anyway, she watched us for a long time, and then the hacking started. And then I think that was to tear us apart, like me and the girl that became friends again.
Right.
And a lot of that, it's very immature. I'm like, I just want to have friends online, but then I can never tell who's actually my friend being autistic. This is something I've never mentioned yet in this podcast, but yes, I am autistic. And I mean, sometimes when you have that, you think everyone's your friend, and you think people are a lot nicer than they are, and you kind of are naive to it.
I was gonna bring it up. I was gonna ask you about that, because a lot of people I've noticed, because my oldest son, he's autistic. A lot of people think that that's a barrier that holds people back. I haven't seen it hold him back or anybody I've ever known that's autistic. Um, Talk about that. I mean, has that, other than some of those things you just mentioned there, have you ever found it to be a barrier for you?
I do find like sometimes, because like with the sensory overload thing, like lights can, ring lights and all that can kind of get to me. That's why I actually tend to use, I'm going to take it off and show you guys what I use to combat. This is like a little mini ring light. You guys see what I mean? Like, it's small.
Right.
So I got that from like the dollar store, all places. But I find, yeah, sensory overload can be one thing. And then sometimes when I'm live streaming and then I'm like, my social meter just drops. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have that big of a social meter. So, sometimes it can hinder me. Some days it'll be Friday and I'm like, I want to get online and stream and do my cam work, but I'm burnt out. I'm autistic burnout, like, and that's okay though, because I know to like stop myself sometimes and say, hey, there's always tomorrow. There's always next week. You have money saved up. Rest.
That's awesome. I love your attitude. I love your angle. I love the way you move. And I don't mean just like that. I don't like the way you move when you dance, Shay. As an individual, as a young woman, independent woman, entrepreneur, I like the way you're moving with this. And I happen to know too that it's important to you to buy a home, and you've been working towards that. And that's something I wanted to bring up is you've been doing this with goals, with in-game shit in your head, and you're actually on the verge, you're getting close to buying your own home. And if I'm wrong, correct me, but buying it outright, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes. Like, right now, I think I have like at least, I would say like half saved up what I want to start like the first, mortgage kind of payments. Like, all the exception and all that. You have to like make sure everything's up to date, like pay off all your stuff. And that's what I've been working on too. Like, making sure all the taxes are done and making sure like things like any old dues are paid off, because that can affect your credit.
Right.
And in my 20s, I had a couple bad roommates where I had to take out some money mart and cash money loans, and they're finally coming back to bite me in the ass, but I'm paying them off. So, so I'm almost there. Yeah. I think I'll be buying a house probably 2020. I said, yeah, 2024, probably mid-year.
2024. It's gonna be a good year for Shay, man. She's having some good years now, but when you get your first house, there's definitely nothing like that feeling. I know Alicia and I, we worked so hard for so many years. We were ready to buy a house. We just couldn't find the right house. And when it finally happened, our careers online were just like, whoa, holy shit, we're in the spot. We did this all ourselves, just working hard, entrepreneurs working for ourselves. And YouTube bought us our first house, our second house, our third house. Um, so I mean, to know where you're at, and you're approaching the age that actually, how old are you now?
Yeah. So I'm 32. I'll be 33 in May.
So yeah, that's about the time. Well, not too far after that. That's when it happened for us as well, when we got our first house. And perfect age, man. It'd be in your 30s to say that you've bought a house. I People I grew up with, man, they're approaching 40 years old, and I don't even know if they've paid off their own car. Which some people are more ambitious than others, and I think that you got to kind of keep people like that in your circle if you're going to have anybody in your circle. We really don't have a lot in our circle because there's not a lot of people that are super motivated like we are. And I find when you don't have that, it's such a downer. It's almost a job to be friends with those kind of people.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly don't have a lot of friends, to be honest, because I'm the same way. Like, I look at it like that too. Like, if they're, not going to be on that same wavelength as me and just help me out, support me, and I help them out and listen to them and them listen to me, not as a therapist or anything, because that's what therapy's for, but just that balance of being there for, your circle, you know?
Yeah, it's not being negative. It's just being real. I love people. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. But at the end of the day, especially doing content creation, there's something about being in the field. What you do is no different than what we do in a sense. You have to put out content to make money. And along the way, you're going to get haters. You're going to get trolled. You're going to get people that want to be in your good graces just to use you. Every time you shake somebody's hand, you're going to say to yourself, I wonder how long it's going to be before they ask me for some favor that's been their agenda uh, since they learned my name.
Yeah, that it's true. People just want things to benefit them at sometimes. I think like people see content creators sometimes too with all that money and that drive and that everything, the force, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna use that person. I'm just gonna, and it's like, no, if you're gonna be my friend, don't coattail off me. Like we can do this together. I can teach you how to do this, but just don't snake me. Don't snake
Right.
me in the end. Because that was one of the things with the girl that hacked me. Like, we're both Canadian and that app is actually American. And so when she went to cash out, finally, because she saved a lot of her money in the first year and a half she was there. But when she went to go cash out, she didn't even know how to cash out. She had to come to me and ask me. So how are you going to come to me and ask me, but then hack me later on? It was
Wow.
just, like,
Excuse me, can you tell me how I can pull the money out that I'm going to fucking hack you for? That's some weird shit. Why don't you go hack off, lady?
when she hacked me on OnlyFans, she actually didn't take the $200 that was in there. And that's how I knew it was her, essentially. Because she said, when I went into her stream and I confronted her finally, like 2 weeks later, a month later, I kind of waited until I was like calmed down. She said, I love how you think anytime anything happens to you, it's me. I go, why isn't the money gone? Like the money would have been gone if it was some Joe Schmo hacker from like India or something, And, I get it. Take the money if that was them, but not her. Like, I'd rather have
Crazy.
like, and I'm not saying that, but it's like, it was scary having someone so close to home hack you, someone close that was a friend.
So when you said you got hacked, does it tell you where they're logging in from like it does with like Instagram?
So what did happen with that is it was like I think it said that it was like, what did it say? It did say a location. I think it said Canada somewhere, and he was in Canada. He was actually like very close to me. The guy that she got to do it, by the way, she had someone do it who was a gifter of hers. And mind you, the guy gifted me a little bit too. And he was talking to me for months. And I don't know. I think it was part of their plan. Do you know what I mean?
Scary. So, has there ever been a point where you haven't wanted to do this anymore and change your career up to something else?
Yes, there definitely has. There's days like in the beginning where my mental health was like not right. Like I was crying a lot and having like autistic meltdowns, and I didn't know that I was autistic quite yet. So I will say that was part of it. I was diagnosed when I was 31. So since then, I've been a bit better with like, like, oh, I'm gonna drop everything. And but then it's like when you think that, sometimes it's like, what can you really go do? Like once you start this, and it's not to be like be ashamed of it, but it's like once you start this though, it's digital footprint. It's You're gonna go try to get a 9 to 5. They're gonna go look you up, and they're gonna see, if the names correlate and all that. That's why you have to keep your stage name separate.
Yeah, that's true. What you just said right there, and I don't know if a lot of people realize. I know Alicia and I, mainly because we're parents and stuff, but we had talked about at one point doing the OnlyFans thing because math wise, it just made sense. Visually, I felt like being a content creator, like okay, I got a unique twist on this. Um, Basically, I had a friend that was on OnlyFans, and I think she was charging $20 a person for her subscriptions, and she had 1,000 people, which was $20,000 a month she was averaging, and it happened really quick. I think it happened within like 3 to 6 months. It was really fast, and all of a sudden she was making 20 G's a month. Um, and us having a platform already. She didn't even have a platform. You ever notice how some people go to Instagram and they just take the hell off? It's like it's weird. Like how does the hell did it just happen for her overnight? But we had talked about it, and it was the kids, and it was also the fact it was like we're comfortable and don't need to do that, but it is appealing knowing how much money you can make being in that field, and it's a part of your life already. uh, you got a couple people that aren't embarrassed, that are proud of their sexual relationship, and that was pretty much this girl too. It was basically just her and her husband doing things on there that they're already doing. They're just putting on a camera, charging people $20 a head to come and watch it, and changing their life, coming from working as a manager at a grocery store and a salesman at a cell phone company, together working both those jobs full time, 5 days, 7 days a week, 40 to 60 hours a week. They were not making nowhere near what they were on OnlyFans in just a few
That's
months.
right. Yeah, you can really just take off on there and just make 10 G's really fast, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Especially like if you have the fans, like the 1,000 fans, like you were saying. Like I myself have never gotten up that high, but I have gotten up to 200 before. Um, so that's not bad. That's a good amount of money coming in. But
Yeah, no, that is great, and I mean that's the whole thing. Is when I heard that, I said, Alicia, I bet you anything, I could get 1,000 people to subscribe to this, in a short amount of time. But even if 1,000 didn't, just a few hundred people. But I think we started realizing, our kids, they're young, they're not looking at that stuff, but they're surfing on the internet like nobody's business. They can tell you how to go from zero to hero. Anything technical you need to know, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're future hackers in the making. Not to be proud of that, but geez, man, these kids are smart as hell. I want to go back to the strip club thing real quick. Shay working up in the strip club, little chicken strip. I can see you in there. Everybody looking at you like you're a chicken strip. Any of these guys ever threw you out some kind of crazy offer? I'm sure it happens a lot, but anything ever happen in one of these strip clubs like this guy come up to you and just be like, hey, you come with me right now, I'm gonna change your whole life type shit?
I haven't really had anyone do that kind of stuff because I don't do private dances at this point. It's more so that like my boss that books these gigs, they're fetish gigs. He books them sometimes in strip clubs. So he books strippers, he books drag queens, he books go-go dancers. And I've been a go-go dancer for 14 years and I just started doing a little bit of stripping. You know what I mean? That's why I consider myself stripper and go-go dancer, but more so go-go. But yeah, I actually don't do the private dance kind of thing. But I mean, if I was, I'm sure I would be getting offers like that because, well, it's hard to say though. I'm not sure how Vancouver is. The guys out here, I feel like online's better for tips.
People can be very generous online. I've seen it on YouTube, and I've seen friends that I've had that are in your field. Talk about that. I mean, maybe not the private dances haven't happened. You're not doing that, which is awesome because that can also be a dangerous thing. I've seen some sleazy shit back in the days when I was going to strip clubs with these guys. Made me sick. Made friends of mine made me sick. But online, you've received some very generous gifts. Anything like that you want to talk about?
Oh, definitely. I have a few different times where I've made in less than 3 hours, I've made 2,500 American from one gentleman, and he was like the thing I called earlier, the pay pig thing. Like that's their name, essentially. So he was one of those, and he tipped me $1,000 like on the Tex Panther site, and then we did calls for like 3 hours, and it all equaled out to 2,500. So
Wow.
you best believe that I was like beaming, like grinning from ear to ear that night, like holy crap. And I actually made, I think, another like 200-300 on the live streaming app that day. So I almost had a $3,000 day American. So
That's
that
awesome.
crazy, that's like some people's like, I don't know, it takes for some people it takes like months to make 3K or like a
Well,
month at least, right?
back in the day, I worked a job for somebody. I haven't worked for people a lot in my life. I've always had like my own businesses and done my own thing. But I remember this job I had. Um, I was going and I was cleaning strip clubs after hours. I was cleaning gyms after hours. It was a dirty job. But the reason I did it is they were like, "Yo, man, we're gonna pay you $2,500 a month to do this one strip club one day a week, this one gym one day a week, and this one country club one day a week." And I didn't have to get there till like midnight. I would work till 3 in the morning. I was done. And then I was guaranteed this $2,500 a month. So I had time to do other jobs and other hustles in which I was doing heavy. Um, but when I look back on that now, and I'm thinking, even that, even though there wasn't a lot of hours, even though there was a lot of time, that shit money compared to what I've seen I can make doing online stuff that I actually want to do, that's not dirty, that doesn't put me in harm. I'm not going to, you know, catch no disease from freaking cleaning a gym or a strip club or some shit.
No, that's understandable. I'm really glad that you guys are where you're at, and can do what you do and be happy with it and enjoy it and stuff. I'm the same way. I wake up every day grateful. And I think that like sets the tone for the day half the time. And then you bring more abundance by being grateful.
And you, where you're at right now in life, I mean, are you looking for a relationship? Do you want a relationship? Or are you just so content in your hustle at the moment that the only thing that's important is getting that house, getting the racks up, and just enjoying the ride a little bit, focusing on you?
Now that I'm getting a little bit older, like, you get like a little lonely, you kind of realize like this road is a little bit lonely. So I am essentially, hoping to find someone, but I'm not actively looking. I'm not on any dating apps. And, that comes with being a cam girl. You usually download those dating apps to put your OnlyFans on there. You know what I mean? And hey, my ex told me to do that. Like he was like, you should go do that. I was like, all right. And I was like, that's one thing that you've suggested that was smart. So like, yeah, I'm not actively looking for someone, but I think that's how you find the right person. I think you just let them come to you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's exactly how it happened with us. I mean, we were both dating. dating and hating, but yeah, essentially we found each other at the right time when we were supposed to find each other, obviously. But when it comes to relationships, well, now because you're still fairly newer to this adult entertainment thing, you said it didn't really start happening till late 2000s, right?
Yeah, like 2019. So it's been like 4 years, 5 years, I think, roughly. The math, I don't know.
Has or would this, do you believe, create any issues with having a relationship with somebody, or because you're not doing stuff with girls on cam and guys on cam, uh, maybe it wouldn't create any kind of barrier in that aspect of a relationship?
It really depends on the guy, I would say, because some guys are really insecure in themselves and I think don't want you to even do this. And but then they get with you just because they want you as a trophy. You know what I mean? And that's how my ex was. Like he knew I was a dancer all those years and he would bring his boys to the club and point at me and drop $100 bills. And, it was like a fun game for him because I'm
Wow.
just like this, like, but I think if you find the right man who's going to love you and support you, he will be right there shooting you, shooting those angles, getting all those angles, like just rubbing on yourself, tanner in the right places, doing your hair for you. You know what I mean? If you meet the right man, he's going to help you.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I was painting Alicia's toes the other night. I was getting toey and unholy on that girl. I really polished those fuckers up, bro.
You did such a good job.
I love that for you guys. I mean, you got to do that. You got to take care of your woman.
We've been keeping this kind of nice, but let me just ask you a little bit of spice. What's the dirtiest thing, you can answer or not answer, that you've ever done on camera?
Probably toe sucking. I had like a custom video where someone was like, suck your toes, and I made him pay me well. But I feel like that's kind of like weird.
Okay, so he was sucking
No,
on
no,
your
no.
toes.
I sucked my own.
Whoa. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Something just got real. You were sucking on your own toes.
Yes.
I think we just got our title for this video.
Oh my gosh.
OnlyFans girl sucks her own toes.
So here's my question. So you got these girls selling their feet on there. Is there guys selling their feet too?
A lot of gay guys sell their feet pics. Some straight, but mostly gay. I've seen.
Wow. Jody?
Nah. Jody ain't doing nothing. Jody ain't that hungry. I ain't gonna start taking pictures of my damn feet. But what you just said, sucking your own toes, I mean, I would probably pay to see that, because visually, I can't even fucking imagine that right now.
Right. I am pretty flexible. I was a gymnast when I was younger and swimmer and did all the sports and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, that helps.
So if people come to your OF, I mean, they can expect to see some stuff. I mean, you're doing full nude on there for subscribers, right?
That's right. Full nude, full face, which some other, women don't offer. And that's totally okay. That's, it's on them. Whatever they're comfortable with. But yes, I do full everything, full length videos, and no pay-per-view too as well. Some people do all pay-per-view as well. But yeah, it's all out in the open. And I mean, I try to be super fair with like what I post. Like I try to post like a new video every Friday. Almost like what you guys do. Like you guys drop every 2 days, right?
Every 2 days, yeah.
Like I drop every day on there, but like it's recycled old content, which is fine. It's not like it's reused on my OnlyFans. It's just stuff they have never seen yet,
Right.
from my camera rolls from years ago. Since I've been taking nudes forever now.
Is there and I'm trying to figure it out, not for my own knowing. I don't have nothing to do with it. But for the people that may be interested, so there's full nude, there's full face on there. Is there toys and things like that?
Yes, I have a wide selection of toys, like pretty much all of them. You know what I mean? Like there's everything out there, and I pretty much have everything now.
Is there anything you want to do besides the cam work, besides the OnlyFans, besides the dancing? Is there anything like a business that Shay thinks about, or some invention, or is there anything in the back of your mind that you said, okay, what I'm doing now could be a catalyst to do what I want to do down the road?
Yeah, honestly, I've thought about opening a dance studio because I'm a dancer, and maybe thought about like having, different rooms and rent them out to different, teachers kind of thing, and have them, help me pay the rent in a sense. And then, just hopefully that'll bring me money, but then also they'll be paying me enough to make it work for the mortgage and all that. Cause you know how it is when you get a studio or a place, you have to pay for like the extra rent and then your own rent. So it's a lot, but I
Right.
do consider that happening in the future. Like, I think that'd be really cool to see like dance teachers teaching their different dance things, and maybe me even teaching some dance stuff too. I don't know what, but maybe like a go-go dancing freestyle course. Cause that's really what I do.
That's awesome, and that's very smart because I've always seen it is the plan Bs are essentially more important than the plan A's. Like you could say, okay, like I started off and YouTube was my plan A, but then I'm like, okay, if I get Dean's Haunted Mansion going, God forbid they accidentally delete my YouTube channel, because YouTube's been deleting YouTube channels like crazy, then it's like, okay, well, this thing seasonally does good enough where I, pay my bills for the year or whatnot. And then, other little hustles and things. So I think that's really smart. And real estate's the best investment you'll ever invest in, because you always have your money there, but then you could also have profits there. There's refinance and there's all kinds of crazy shit. When it comes to what we do, I've always seen it as a catalyst. I told my friend last night, I said, first $1 million I make is not from YouTube, it's from money that I made from YouTube. You know what I mean? Like that bridge there to have opportunities. So, and you have it at such a young, it's a perfect age that you're at right now to be able to be doing things.
And that's why I'm still trying to like be motivated at this age, because I'm about to be 33, and like, I don't think that like I'll be doing it right until I'm 40. Maybe hopefully retire like a bit before 40. But if that happens, if I'm still working till I'm 40, that's fine. But I'd rather have it not that.
Do you still enjoy sex? Do you still like it, or is it at this point right now? Is it straight business at this point in your life?
To be honest, like I do, like I think, I tried to hook up with my ex like a while ago, like when we were talking again, I think last year, but then he ended up not coming over. So I think I took that as a sign, like it was a sign like that I shouldn't have slept with them. So, I mean, I was like pursuing like having sex last year, but then I realized it wasn't really what I wanted.
Is there anything, Shay, that you wanted me to ask you, that maybe I didn't approach?
There's nothing that I want you to ask me, but there's something that I wanted to add. I just wanted to say that during those hacker times, like those dark times where like I wanted to like myself, your guys' page kept me going. I just literally like flat out, I would like just wait for the videos to be released, and it would just like I'm tearing up because I'm like, it's a big thing for me, but your guys' channel has really helped me.
Wow, Shay, that means it means a lot. And to know that you were at a point like that because of another individual, that hurts me very badly. So I can only imagine. Alicia and I have such a spot for our heart and people that deal with that.
Cyber attacks aren't fun. And, I think all that you can do when you're being bullied and cyber attacked is just know that time is on your side, and just pray and just be grateful and just be happy for what you have. And, someone's trying to take your income away, but I still had other sources of income. So I was like, essentially like, okay, just hold on to what you have and keep watching Hunting the Dead. Every time it would release, I'd be opening my laptop and just waiting for the new stuff, the new episodes to be out, because it would just keep me going. And then I would pretty much like watch them and then go to bed, because half the time I was so depressed for that like month.
Just a quick little cut there, guys. I just wanted to say that, from outside looking in, I think it's great what you're doing, and I'm proud to see a young lady doing it, and we're happy to call you a friend. Thank you for, supporting us, and we're happy to support you now too. That's why I had to have you on the pod to talk about what you're doing, because it's inspirational. And I don't think a lot of chicks out there or guys realize that being in the adult entertainment business doesn't necessarily mean that you got to go and smash everybody, that you got to record yourself smashing people. You're going to buy a freaking house and you've been doing this on your own.
Haven't ever made content with anyone else, and I'm just thriving off. Actually, I wanted to mention it and I didn't mention, but one gifter, and I want to say, you know, supporter, a friend, like you call your supporters of friends, instead of just being gifters, you know, I don't like that term as well. But he's from California. He's been with me the full 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this stuff. And he's the main reason why I'm able to be buying a house, because he sends me like $500 each live stream, just like it's my birthday every time or something. So shout out to King. His name is King. He goes by, and he's a Twitch streamer as well. And but yeah, he's really helped me a lot. So I will say it's thanks to like one dedicated gifter mostly.
Well, Shay, it's been awesome having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate that. And if Alicia and I ever do decide to do an OnlyFans, we're going to be expecting a collab, just so you know. We already talked about this. We're reaching out to Shay. So
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was honestly amazing being here, chatting with you guys.
everybody, I want you to smash that thumbs up. I want you to comment below, share this on social media. Don't hesitate to check out the homegirl Shay. We're going to be back in a few days here. We post every other day, live chat, live premiere, always, no matter what we're doing, right here on the Hunting the Dead channel. New podcast every week. Alicia, thank you so much for being the lovely loveliness that you are. All right, guys, so we'll see you in a few days, but until then, sweet nightmares.